Okay, so I know that you mentioned I should try to maybe use my angry energy that I sometimes experience in a workout and try to channel it as a positive energy so I can kind of get through the rest of it, but with a different way of thinking. So, holy shit, I did it again.
No, that was good. I understand what you meant there. Yeah, essentially, I think if you have the wherewithal to do so, then trying can't hurt, but it should result in a better mindset in face of adversity.
So, taking the Arnold approach.
That's all you need, honestly, is just think about that quote.
Yeah.
Because it's so logical.
So Arnold says when asked why he's always smiling in the gym, they make the comparison. They're like, so Arnold, all these other guys in the gym, they're looking really bad when they're working out. They look sad or upset. They're just not in a good spot. But you're over here smiling. What's up with that? And I'm not going to do an Arnold voice. Okay. I'm smiling because I know that every rep brings me closer to my goal.
That was really good.
And yeah, so
you've been practicing, but yeah, I've made you say that quote like at least like 3 times by now. Like you said to my mom. Yeah, people need to hear that though, because it's a good way to think, because working out does suck. Honestly, it's tough, but it is what you make it.
So while I really enjoy that quote, and you're right, I've said it ad nauseum at this point, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it's one of my favorite quotes, along with many other quotes from Arnold.
And H.G. Wells.
Yeah, they're right up there, same ballpark. So I really like to think of that quote, but the reality is for me, when I'm in the gym, sometimes I'm able to channel my negative energy. And like I said earlier, I'm not an angry guy usually, so it's not like I'm running around raging on people, or like I don't even get road rage that bad. Not gonna lie, I get it sometimes, but I think that's normal. So when I'm in the gym, sometimes it happens mid-set, sometimes it happens right before the entire session, but I can get into a headspace where I either get really angry, or sometimes I think of sad things, which drives me even further. Like, I don't know.
Sad things are pretty good for that, but it is a good way to turn that around. And like, I don't know. And I feel like sadness brings a lot of people to work out, and that can be a great outlet for that. But again, just try to not be sad. And I know it's like kind of easier said than done, like way easier said than done, but it can't hurt to try.
Well, I feel like there's a duality going on here, almost like it's two different people inside my head when I'm working out sometimes. Like there's the positive one that is thinking of Arnold quotes and stuff like that, and then there's the one that's just like, the reason why I started lifting in the first place was because I hated the way I looked and felt and was, so it bounces back and forth from like positive to negative. But I think that's what being balanced is, like being aware and being able to confront negativity, but not letting that be your like prime driver. Ultimately I lean more towards positivity in almost all cases, but in certain circumstances, I think it's highly beneficial to be able to tap into your dark spot or whatever, and then just go hecko mode.
Well, it beats going on a killing spree. You have a lot less chance to go to prison. It is a lot healthier than drinking alcohol to deal, or doing like drugs or something to deal with your stress. Or even overeating to deal with your negative thoughts and whatnot. But I think it's a good theory that maybe that is not really you. You are more so the person who's like here and right now, not the voice in your mind that is living in the past or the present, thinking about your past mistakes or your fear of the physical exhaustion from the next set of squats.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm arguing heavily for this is because one thing that you said earlier when you were telling me about this was that while it did give you a burst of adrenaline when you got angry, if you want to repeat the situation, that might be helpful.
Yeah, okay.
First, sorry.
Okay, so we were talking squats earlier, and earlier this week I was doing a squat session at home and lifting a pretty relatively heavy weight, kind of heavy for me, for 8 reps. So it was 4 sets of 8, and the whole day had progressed kind of weird, and this workout happened a lot later than I usually work out. So it was already the afternoon. I was a little bit bugged going in, but all in all, I was excited to be able to work out in general because every workout is just another brick in the wall. And all we are is just a brick in the wall. But
Misty Waters.
yeah, Red Floyd.
Red Waters.
Yum. So I'm squatting, and I don't know why this triggered me so much, but it was probably my first or second set, and I was about halfway through the set, so let's say about rep number 4. 225 pounds, 8 reps, it felt heavy for me, and my Apple Watch starts shaking. It starts vibrating because I'm getting a freaking phone call or a FaceTime call or something, and Naima, who's doing her homework in the corner of the room, has her phone go off. And Alina, who's standing right behind me, has her phone go off. And then they start having a conversation trying to involve me in it. And I'm over here just like trying to grind through this set. Like I didn't want to be lifting that weight at that time, at that moment. But I had to. And so I was going to finish. And as they were talking around me, and sometimes I think they tried talking directly to me, I just got this like flush of rage. I got so intensely angry, not at anyone in particular or anything. It was just like angry at the weight or something. And so I finished up the rest of my reps, but not before I shouted really loud, just a angry and furious fuck.
You busted an anger nut.
Yeah, everyone had to know. And so I racked that weight up and I ran over because it was supersetted with pull-ups. I went and I did my pull-ups, and throughout that set I felt incredible. I felt kind of like Batman doing his pull-ups. They were coming out almost effortlessly, although my heart rate was so high I could barely breathe. By the time I finished, I got off the bar and I realized, like, damn, I just had such a huge rush of adrenaline right now that, like, I could probably go run a mile and feel, pretty good about it. But while that energy was really refreshing and helpful, it did kind of wear me down a little bit, and it made the whole rest of the workout go a lot slower. It's almost like it ramped up shortly after that, and then it puttered out like a caffeine crash.
Well, that kind of makes sense because you only have so much energy of the fast and explosive variety like that built up. And I could see if you're going super, super hard, the fatigue would start to make your performance decline.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. But something you mentioned earlier that I didn't hear you say this time was that after you screamed at the top of your lungs that the police came. No, not that. That your form suffered a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. So that's actually a crucial detail. But so the next 4 reps that came out of that set did not feel better. Although I had that surge of adrenaline, that rush of angry energy hit me, it might have benefited the next set, but it definitely took away from that moment.
So I think that could be seen as a con, is channeling energy in that fashion, because it sounds like it may have put you at a slightly higher risk for injury, and that would be horrible. To just get hurt because you got mad.
For sure, that'd be embarrassing. But I'm also wondering if maybe it was the loss of focus from the phone call, because I was pretty dialed in as much, well, I mean, as much as I could have been for a first set on an exercise I didn't really want to be doing right there. We're going through the motions sometimes, and that's what that was. And
You forgot your headphones.
yeah,
You gotta put in those headphones when you're working out at the home gym.
man, do not disturb
Yeah.
mode. That's what should have happened. But I wonder if it was the loss of focus or if it was the emotional reaction I had to what had happened.
Possibly a combination of both.
Likely, yeah, I'd say.
Well, I still feel comfortable being in the positivity camp. I think that just the way you look at it and the way you look at things like that, yeah, that might have been annoying, but you got to think they weren't purposely trying to annoy you.
Oh,
so,
no.
So, and not saying that was exactly the reason, because you said it was just like
Yeah.
weird, like really, really mad, like, which is not like you in any situation, let alone something small like that, which I'm sure living with that many people in your house
And
is
dogs.
yeah, and dogs is filled with moments of that nature. So it's not like anything new to you either. But
Yeah. It was just interesting. It was an interesting observation to make,
gotta
especially
get that
on my list.
testosterone checked.
Yeah, the
It's
T
going
level.
wild.
Dude.
I was gonna say your delts are looking really big.
Is that why my hairline's receding, but I'm growing hair everywhere else?
Oh, I thought that was your fade.
Oh, bro.
Well, anyway, that was a really long introduction, but we were talking about that earlier and thought that would be something interesting to share. So, getting into what we wanted to talk about today is good old 100% necessary. Everybody needs them. Everybody needs to buy all of them, and specifically ours, supplements.
What kind of supplements are we marketing, you ask? Well, let's see. We've got BCAAs. We've got glutamine. We've got leucine. We've got all the
We got
amino-
beta-alanine.
Beta-alanine. These all seem to rhyme. But we also have other
Oh,
ones.
maybe we're saying it wrong. Beta-alanine.
Yeah, alanine. Rhyme. We also have other supplements that don't rhyme, like yohimbe.
Or whey.
Whey.
Yep.
No way.
No, or my personal favorite, lean plantain.
Oh dang! I have not tried that one.
I didn't either, but
We sell it?
there's we do, but yeah, we're actually gonna have some for dinner tonight. Just a big dry scoop.
Link in the bio. You'll want some too. So okay, Hulk Hogan always told me if I say my prayers, eat my vitamins, I'll be a Hulkamaniac. So, was there any real stock to the vitamin part of that?
It's debatable, and it depends.
Yeah.
So, I think that a common consensus you hear a lot is that those vitamins aren't really used by your body. Like if you take a multivitamin or something, you end up urinating a lot of it out. But I could see small amounts of vitamins possibly being beneficial for someone if they're able to absorb it. So maybe there are people that can absorb them and benefit from it.
You know, that's something that I think is not considered often enough when most people, the majority of people, are going to go out and purchase vitamins. And that's bioavailability. So
I've taken vitamins before. Get
Yeah.
them Flintstones, get them gummy vitamins,
Yeah.
dude. Those taste really, really good.
they do
But
taste good.
do they help you? Do they benefit you? Or are you just eating candy?
Great question. And so it begs a couple of other questions. Like, why are you taking that vitamin in the first place? Really, why are you taking it?
So when I took those vitamins, it was just because, like, our parents gave us vitamins before, and then we kind of just took them still. Where now I don't take vitamins, and I wouldn't. You know, the last vitamin I actually took was in high school. It was like this, like one-a-day
Whoa.
vitamin or whatever. I remember specifically, and I'm remembering it now. It wasn't. It was at the front of my mind at all times, every day. Actually, I lied. I'm always thinking about this. I took a vitamin, like on an empty stomach, and then I ate breakfast like pretty quickly after. So you'd think that it wouldn't be a big deal.
Mm.
But then I ended up getting like really nauseous and I threw up and I was just like, all right, I don't want to take vitamins anymore. So I don't know what the heck that was all about.
So that's interesting, dude. Alina has a similar reaction when she takes vitamins, especially vitamins that contain iron. It's a reaction, I guess. Nausea is pretty common when you take an iron supplement, and so it just kind of goes to show that everybody is unique with how their body is going to react, or they're at least not going to be the same from the next person, and it also kind of highlights how like a lot of times these vitamins might just go through the system really really quickly and not be
so
absorbed.
quickly that they don't even go out and and it comes out of your mouth.
That's you literally just vomited up your money.
All of it. I was like,
all
oh,
2
sweet.
cents.
Yeah, like no, man. I got the GNC one a day. But no, I'm just kidding. I have no idea how much they costed. But in my opinion and from my experience, and that is what you should trust above all. If you are really interested about a supplement, first do research on it to make sure it's safe, and then second, go ahead. If it still sounds awesome to you, if you are completely sold and you haven't seen any bad outcomes from it, go ahead and try it and see if it works for you, and let us know.
So earlier you said something, you pretty much just put it all in a nutshell when it came down to supplements, and I think vitamins can be kind of looped in with that as well. You said that supplements are beneficial if you have a deficiency, right?
Yes, they can be. I believe. I mean, I if I had some, or like think of vegans. They always talk about B12 with vegans.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to get through like non-meat food. So I think a lot of vegans probably take B12 now because of that information that's floating around there. So maybe that is beneficial for people like that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, certain vitamins and minerals are crucial where our bodies need them. And there are a few things that our bodies do not produce on their own. Actually, there are quite a few things that
And
our
if
bodies
you have a
don't produce.
medical issue, of course, this is where that would certainly be of benefit. Or if you're like not able to eat food or something,
Yeah.
like it can get that severe. So I think you should be happy if you don't need to take supplements, first of all.
Right?
You should be really grateful for that.
Absolutely. So I take vitamins, and I have my history with supplements and with vitamins is kind of crazy. So when I started out with lifting in general, most of the knowledge and info that I had was all bodybuilding magazines and Instagram, where I followed those same bodybuilders that were in the magazines. So it was pretty much it was heavy exposure to like massive amounts of marketing and not very much real science. So I believed all the marketing tricks. I thought that I needed to have all the supplements in order to get the results. And the way that I rationed it was, well, genetically, I'm not putting on as much muscle as like this other guy. You know, I was comparing myself to people who had better genetics for muscle gain. And so with that,
And possibly on special vitamins.
yeah, on the special vitamins. But see, I didn't even consider that back then. And if I did, I thought, well, okay, the supplements will help take me to a certain level. I'm not concerned with getting to, you know, Kai Green or Phil Heath status, because that's absolutely going to take some steroids.
Don't lie.
That bubble gut's pretty sexy. Nah. That is kind of crazy.
Dude, his intestines are even swole. That's sick.
Yeah, so sick. Like,
dude, I've been trying to work
physically.
mine, but it just like requires a lot of pooping.
And a belly massage, man. That's why you're always like standing around like that.
Oh, that's because I'm hungry.
So I believed all the marketing, and I wasted a bunch of money. And I do say wasted at this point, although you can also consider it experimentation, because I was figuring things out as I went along, as most of us do. And so I think the best thing is, at a certain point, I stepped back and I questioned, why am I even taking this? is this necessary? There were guys in the 40s and 50s that had access to none of this stuff, just the bare basics, the minimum.
Probably not even not even close to as much as what we could get like even in the grocery store.
Yeah, so
as far as food,
they had access to food and less than we do at that, and they were still coming out with incredible physiques. So I really started wondering, like, what is the benefit here? I'm putting all these powders into my body, all these processed things.
So many dry scoops.
Oh, dude. I dry scoop pre-workout on multiple occasions. And I remember I had this one pre-workout that would make me want to vomit so much every time, because I bought it from this bodybuilder, and I won't mention his name because he's kind of a cool dude based off his online presence.
He's making that money.
Yeah. Well, he was very honest and open about his steroid use, which I found to be a good quality. I feel like if you're open about that and you are interested in other people being safe as they pursue a similar goal as you had, then I think you're being a cool dude. So that's why he gets that title in my book. But he started this supplement company, and I was on board right when it started. So as soon as his supplement went on sale, I bought it, like pre-order. And so I got this pre-workout that was, it was supposed to be cotton candy flavor, and I was so surprised when I opened the tub that it was brown. It was brown.
It's that chocolate cotton candy.
And it was sticky. There was this warning label on top of the tub, and it said pre-workout may clump. And I was like, okay, that sounds like inconspicuous. That doesn't sound like a big deal. So I opened it up, and it was like so moist and sticky. So of course it didn't freaking mix well with anything. Anything.
Oh, God, you still
Anything.
hate it?
I dry scooped that bitch.
That's not really a dry scoop if it's all juicy.
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right. I moist scooped it.
Oh.
And it was so nasty. So I think it was just doing that enough times makes you start to think. You question yourself. You're like, oh my God, why am I doing this shit? And so the other thing was, like, I used to take pride in it a little bit. I would tell people, like, if you told me that eating dog crap would make me stronger, that's the Hafthor Bjornsson quote, right? If you told me eating dog crap would make me stronger, I would eat dog crap. It's true, dude. Like, I was willing to go the extra mile because back then I put an over-reliance, I think, on the supplement. And so I remember I would get so excited before a workout because it meant I got to be a chemist. At one point, I was mixing up my own pre-workouts. And I had intra-workout supplements, post-workout supplements, because I didn't want to miss my anabolic window. Like, I was dialed in, dude, to the milligram on what I was taking. But it wasn't really worth it. Like I say now, it was a waste, because come to find out, after actually doing some research and uncovering the marketing and all of the things that the fitness industry is peddling, what you really get is an over-processed, not scientifically proven supplement that may have negligible results at best. At worst, it's something that can actually do you damage and cause harm, whether that's on a small level from the inside of your body or, maybe like physical harm. I haven't heard of anything like that, but the way that the supplement industry is going, being that it's unregulated and we have social media just spreading the virus, you never know what you can run into. There's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yes, do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. I'm going to say it twice because there's so many do's there. When you're thinking about purchasing a supplement, do a lot of research on it first, because they're oftentimes a decent chunk of money, first of all. And second of all, like John said, you don't know if it's going to have adverse effects and you completely just waste your money or any of those bad outcomes there. The likelihood of your mystery blend, secret formula, BCAAs doing anything noticeable for you is probably pretty low. But again, if you really feel strongly that you'd like to try, go ahead. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I think you should research first.
Yeah, definitely. And so,
That can take all of this struggles that John has told us about, moist scooping brown clumpy pre-workout from a startup company that he wants to support. He's just trying to support his someone who he liked. What, that is so messed up when I start to think about it more, that you trusted this guy and he completely threw you under the bus like that.
yeah.
Oh man,
Well,
that's appalling.
yeah, it's pretty crappy in that sense for sure.
Buy our supplements.
Buy them all. But I've also found that there's kind of like a culture to supplements too. And I think that it heavily ties in with like any kind of a fitness expo or a trade show. You're going to see legitimate athletes, bodybuilders in many cases, or fitness models in many more cases, I would say. And they're all
Beautiful.
yeah, yes, so beautiful. And they're promoting supplements.
Like, I want to look like that. I'm gonna get what they're peddling. But think about it. That person who's selling that, they'll tell you they take it, but debatable whether they do or not.
Well, if they had any sense, they would take the check and not the supplement. But it'd be even better if they didn't take the check and had some integrity. But such is the world right now. So that's why all we want to do is
Just wanna
shed
make
some
money.
light on it.
All we want to do is make money,
Yeah, exactly. Send us your supplements.
and we'll sell them.
Dude, you're like a drug lord right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the top of the chain. I'm telling you, 2 weeks. That's all it's gonna take.
All right, bang.
Bang energy.
Yum. No, I don't like that stuff. Have you tried it?
All right, so I actually wanted to branch out, and this is a perfect thing that we can start with, because what you said about there being a culture in supplements, it kind of made me think of like pre-workout culture. How so many people are so into dosing with caffeine before they work out. I think caffeine can play a good role in that, taking it in that fashion, but at the levels in which it's dosed in many pre-workouts, it seems kind of dangerous to me, or at very least, it's going to kill your tolerance. I mean, yeah, not so much dangerous, more so that, and you're just going to end up spending a ton of money because you're going to need to add scoops, and then you're going to go through your little bucket all fast, and then you're going to need another one. So I think that developing a reliance on any chemical is probably not going to be the most financially conscious decision, and possibly not the most healthy for your body.
Yeah, correct. I agree with you on that. And
But I drink
caffeine,
Bang Energy every day. Don't get me wrong.
By the
2 or
case.
3 of them, yeah.
cotton candy flavor. Do they have like a
It's
Liberty
brown.
flavor? Yeah, it's brown. That's how you know you're doing it right. So caffeine's one of those things that I have experience with, again, because I have an addictive personality that caffeine seems to work pretty well with. Stimulants are one of my most favorite thing going into a workout, in the form of a good caffeine. I'm talking coffee, people. I'm talking a cup of Joe, regular old cup of Joe, because I've been down that route with highly caffeinated pre-workout powders. I've even gotten to the point where I was just buying caffeine capsules, and I would just do those. So
I saw him in the corner at the gym one time. He broke a capsule open and he dripped it in his eye.
woo,
That's how you get it to go to the brain quickest.
dude, that sounds so awful. That sounds really painful. But
Yeah, well, you see, he says
hey.
it sounds painful because he was just so caffeinated that he can't even remember.
that's a legit red eye. Like, espresso doesn't have anything on that. But it is
Yeah,
a
where do you think they thought of the name?
powder in the eye. Naturally. It's the first thing that comes to mind. So,
Clumps up and gets brown in the corner of your eye.
oh man,
Then you eat it like pre-workout.
you
All
should
right,
have
I'm just
smelled
being-
that stuff. You should have smelled it. Like,
Let's order some.
I wonder if it's the same. Like, if it is, bro, it's been 5 years.
It's like it works. No one's complained.
They're all dry scooping it, moist scooping it. Oh God, but it's a super slippery slope, and you're right. maybe the worst thing that happens is your tolerance goes away and you end up spending a lot of money. And that doesn't sound too bad, so you can justify it. But
You
now,
got a job. You work hard for that caffeine.
yeah. And look, here's the thing. I want to get into like the physiological side of caffeine just a little bit. Not in great depth because I'm not prepared with in-depth biology on this, but
Get your charts out.
here we go. This is just a basic I don't know, information on caffeine and how it works when it enters the body. So, as we know, it's a stimulant. It's going to raise your energy, and it does so by basically tricking the brain into thinking that it's not tired anymore. So, when that happens, your brain is forced to react. The thing is, okay, hold on. I want to backtrack a little. Caffeine in the system can have an effect of up to 12 hours. And so the reason why that's important at all is because sleep is going to be your best supplement. Sleep does more for your body than any other supplement. And so I believe that it can hinder that. It can hinder your circadian rhythms and your ability to get effective sleep. So that's a definite downside other than being costly. Apart from that, I've personally had experience with heartburn, a lot of heartburn or acid reflux type symptoms, and eye twitching, things like that. So all in all, caffeine's one of those things that if you're going to do it, I'd recommend don't do it in supplement form. You're looking at coffee. Do coffee. Don't
Yeah,
do
much milder dose, or
pre-workout.
possibly tea. I really like tea.
Yeah, tea's awesome. I think when people buy pre-workouts, what they really want out of it is they want a short burst of energy because they think that they need to be extra energized going into a workout.
Some people also describe it as euphoric feeling.
Interesting. I haven't heard of that.
Well, I mean, think about it. You're all tired and all going to work and stuff, and you get your caffeine buzz, and you're like, all right, I'm feeling good now.
That's true.
Goes kind of beyond just, can kind of turn back to that positivity, kind of give you a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Definitely. And it can also
Spoiler
be seen as a
alert, there's
reward.
not. There's no light.
Nope, never.
But yes, as far as what you said, it can also, and it probably does. Like if you condition yourself to have like a cup of coffee every single morning, your body's probably like fiending for that, jonesing.
Yeah, well, if that's the route you want to take, I implore
It's like
you.
cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly, like cigarettes. I mean, it gives you that little rush of dopamine. You get excited that you have it, and then maybe like how I used to have an over reliance on my supplements, I'd get excited and think, all right, this workout's gonna be baller because I'm going in the right way. I have all my caffeine, all my other things. I'm good to go. But once you take a step back and reconsider, maybe give it a week. Try a week with no supplements and see how you feel. Maybe even 2 weeks to give yourself an honest evaluation, because you don't always need to have that energy available. It really comes down to, instead of just trying to alleviate symptoms that you may be having, like fatigue, well, if you're tired at the end of your day, and
Why don't you go to bed?
yeah, exactly. And you have to work out after work, but it's just not happening because you're so tired, because you take your pre-workout before the gym session, and now you're up all night. So that's why you're tired all the time. Look, it's obvious. Your problem is you need sleep. You don't need pre-workout. So when it comes to balancing out your energy levels, that's something to consider. Maybe attack the source, not the symptom. But apart from that, there are plenty of other supplements that try to do other things. So, for example, like getting a pump.
Can we, since we are on a limited amount of time,
Yeah.
I think I do like where you're going with this, and we do need to continue this. But I thought maybe we could spend some time talking about some supplements other than caffeine that do serve a role, as opposed to ones that are going to just take your money, like pump. I mean, I'm kind of curious now. I think the name sounds like it's going to be something that's like some sort of vascularity. Increasing. Okay, so like,
pretty much it.
is that necessary? Well, maybe if you're taking that sick pic for the Instagram, maybe you're gonna need it, but definitely buy 2 tubs because you're gonna be taking a lot of pictures.
Oh, that's also even if it works.
That too, exactly. Placebo, maybe, I don't know, but either way, I think maybe that I have a couple of supplements in mind that I do personally like to use for a couple of reasons, and I know that you use these as well. So, and I think that these are valuable ones. Again, just my opinion. You go ahead and buy some pump. I'm telling you. Actually, I'm encouraging you. But I was going to mention whey protein or any protein supplement. Like I said, lean plantain. Go for that lean plantain, or and creatine. 2 supplements that are in my typical regimen.
Yeah. Um, you know, as balls deep as I got into supplements, it had somewhat of a rebound effect where I went completely out of them for a while and didn't take anything. But what brought me back to whey protein and creatine was all the science that shows and has proven how beneficial they are. And I don't want to just I guess be exclusive with the whey protein. Other forms of protein have also been shown to be very effective, although whey protein has been shown to be the most effective.
Cost effective too.
Yeah.
A lot of those other proteins are pretty dang expensive, but you can find some quality whey protein at affordable prices, which is pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Get something that's tasty.
Oh yeah, frozen banana.
The least processed, the better. But yeah, so creatine, that's the second most studied supplement out there, right behind caffeine. And so the reason why it's the second most studied, I think, and this might just be like a legend or something, but it's because in the 90s when creatine really started to popularize, it was marketed as something that was kind of controversial. It took on this I don't know, people kind of put it up there with steroids. Like they thought it was dangerous, like it was going to hurt you, it was going to be negative to your health or give you roid rage. Actually, I remember when I was working at the Guitar Center, somebody told me, and I can't even remember who, because I was taking creatine, and they're like, "Don't take that." But in all seriousness, they said, "Don't take that. That's gonna make you, it's gonna make you freak out." What they said. I was like, "Whoa." All right,
Dude, maybe that's where your rating is coming from. It's all coming together now. We've come full circle.
Oh my gosh, the writing was on the wall.
All right, people, I lied. I'm throwing my creatine away right now. You can, if you listen closely, you can hear the toilet flushing.
But yeah, maybe you make a good point. So I don't know. I did come back.
I don't think that's a good point.
I came back to the creatine and the whey protein because honestly, as far as supplementation goes, that's exactly what they are. They supplement my diet. They supplement my training routine, my sleep regimen, everything. So I've considered the pillars before I considered the smaller details, the bigger picture before the smaller picture.
So I'd like to mention that what John's talking about in supplementing, because he is, of course, thinking of, or in only taking whey protein and creatine, he is trying to incorporate foods to cover the rest of the needs of his nutrients. So the reason he needs to take creatine is because you would need, creatine is naturally found in like animal meat, red meat in particular. And in order to get the same size dose as a supplement of creatine, which is typically around 5 grams, you'd have to eat like kilograms of meat. You would have to eat a ton of meat. And that would be not only using all like your allotment of calories on just some steaks when you probably want to eat a more balanced diet with possibly some vegetables and other carbohydrates. I mean, that's one reason, but you could do it. You could eat like, I think it's like something like, I want to say 2 kilograms. So that might be high, but I'm not positive. It's a lot of meat.
Yeah, it's quite a bit. And, you know, the alternative is a pretty small scoop of highly mixable powder that has no flavor. Creatine's great. It's been shown to increase strength, especially
Increase power, particularly.
right power. So power is strength plus speed. So it helps with a certain portion of the energy consumption that your body goes through during lifting.
The preliminary phase that your body uses for its most explosive power.
Right. And that's typically an energy store that runs out very quickly. And so the more gas you can have in that tank, the better.
And again, you'd have to be eating a ton of meat if you wanted to get that through your diet. So supplementing with creatine is logical in my opinion and John's,
Right.
because it is relatively cost effective to get a jug of creatine. And if you're only dosing with 1 scoop a day, which I'll segue for a moment to loading, it depends. There's not clear evidence whether or not a loading phase at the beginning is worth it or not. So I mean,
That
give
would
it a
be
shot if you
taking
want.
double or 2 scoops, maybe even I've heard of people
I like
taking up to
5.
20 grams
Oh
of
my-
creatine in
yeah.
a day. So a normal serving is 5 grams. The way I did it is I just started taking it and I try not to stop.
Yeah, because if you're going to be supplementing with creatine, you got to think again on that long-term scale that you're probably going to continue supplementing with it. So within a couple weeks of beginning, you will have saturated your stores doing what the loading phase is going to be doing, and you're not going to die not having it. Actually, yes, you get addicted instantly. You need that loading phase to get you hooked. No, it is. Some people think it's a clever marketing ploy to get people to eat all their creatine right when they get it,
Dang.
and then they have to buy more. But try it if you'd like. Again, no conclusive evidence on that. But another thing I wanted to mention about it is that it is typically laboratory synthesized, so it's also doesn't like harm animals or anything like that.
Right.
And
I've even heard of it having cognitive benefits, but I don't really know too much about that, but it could be worth looking into.
yeah, that could. I've heard that as well, so I believe that is entirely possible. But again, I feel slow and dull every day, so I couldn't tell you. Even though I've been taking creatine, I don't know why I ain't getting smarter.
You need more pre-workout in your life.
Yeah, I do. Dry scoops.
The other one's whey protein, and
Or protein powder, or your preferred vegan protein powder.
which is it's filling gaps in your nutrition, essentially. So let's say that maybe you're out and about, or it's post-workout, pre-workout, any point in the day, and you need a convenient source of protein, without having to stop and get something to eat. Well, there's your whey protein, your pea protein, your any kind of protein.
Note that the different types of proteins will metabolize in slightly different ways. But again, your goal should be to reach the amount of protein that you need in the days and the weeks, and not focus so much on, I would say, more on how much you get above the quality of it.
Yeah.
I mean the quality or the type of it, not the quality. You probably don't want to be eating like some worms or something or grasshoppers. It's probably not that bad, actually.
Bear Grylls does it.
I really don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it keeps people alive, so you totally can go for those grasshoppers.
But so I do something similar with vitamin D. It's another thing I take, as well as zinc. So I wouldn't say that I need them necessarily, but I take them because vitamin D is not something that I'm getting much of these days. It's winter. I get to work and it's dark.
John wears a parka.
I'm constantly covered. Yeah, I'm in a burqa all day long. So I supplement with vitamin D because I want to make sure that I'm not deficient in that vitamin. So I'm filling a gap in my nutrition. And then I take zinc for the same reason. The two in tandem also support natural testosterone production. So if I were deficient in any of those, I would now have normal testosterone production.
Clearly, you're not. Clearly, you are sufficient and beyond that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm still waiting on this beard.
That's not a sign of anything other than you got to waste more time shaving.
Damn.
That's today. We're gonna take the time now, and we're gonna advertise for Dollar Shave Club. No.
Yeah. Thanks to our sponsors. Classic. Well, I mean, I guess the main takeaways here are know that the supplement industry is not as straightforward as you'd like to think, and that they know what they're doing in terms of marketing. And so if you're being fed a scientific description of something that sounds too good to be true, you're probably being swindled.
Triple check it.
Quadruple check it. There's some fantastic resources. So one I'd like to throw out really quickly is a website called examine.com. So exactly how it sounds, EXAMINE.com. You can go on there and they have completely objective reviews on all manner of different supplements, vitamins. They also have very helpful charts showing you whether laboratory studies have proven it to be effective in, whatever various claims have been attributed to that supplement, like melatonin, for example. It, surprisingly enough, isn't as effective as most people would think at putting you to sleep or keeping you to sleep. So things like that, definitely worth checking out. Examine.com is a great resource. With that, just trying to be objective and knowing that supplements should be mainly to fill gaps in your nutrition.
I have a good quote to bookend that, and it's not a direct quote because I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember along the lines. It's good old James Linker, and he said, "There is no supplement for dedication and hard work and consistency in the gym and eating properly, and basically." There's no supplement. You can put it in simple terms.
Dude, that is beautiful.
For what actually works.
That's beautiful. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my forehead. 'Cause that's what I needed to hear when I was busting my nut on brown cotton candy pre-workout. I thought all that stuff was making the workout. I didn't think it came from me.
Hey, better late than never.
Well, there you go. So believe in yourself, question everything, quadruple check it, and be excellent.
Yes, be your own advocate.
Yes.
And look out for yourself and take multiple people's points of view. And even in science, like, you're going to want to look at more than one paper.
Yeah.
You're going to want to look at multiple things and kind of decide what you think is going to be worthy.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Anyways, before we finish here, we just wanted to announce that we have a new coaching member that you're likely to hear on the podcast in a more frequent manner in the future, and that is my good old cousin, Matt Kennedy.
Yeah. Mac.
Yes, he is a quite the beast himself, and he's got a lot of interesting and helpful information that he is going to bring to the table. So we're excited to have that, and we're excited to teach as many people as will listen. Or at least give you some ideas. Again, we're not Jesus. John is. I'm not.
You are.
But yeah, do your own thinking, basically.
Yeah. So welcome, Mac, and thank you everybody for listening. If you've made it this far, you rock and roll. So you can catch us on YouTube or any of our social media. Also, be sure to check our website out. It is now live at the ironwillcollective.com.
Actually, just ironwillcollective.com.
Yeah, ironwillcollective.com. Correct. That is a distinction that we need to make. ironwillcollective.com. On there, you can download our free ebook on nutrition. It's the first in our 3 Pillars of Health series, and it's amazing. It's definitely worth the read, so recommend it to everybody.
Yep, give it a look and show your friends and family, and have yourself a good night.
Happy Christmas.